Biggie, he called you a coon. That's what he says to your boy, nigga. 400 years is long enough. You've been sitting down and laying down and bowing down for 400 years. I think it's time to stand up. I think it's time to stand up.
I'm on the block, 6'1", about 205. A king's ransom is asked to command my task. On my back is a gash from the slaver's lash. My eyes dance nervously as they clear my path. My feet gnaw and cut make it hard to proceed. But the whip on my back make me move with more speed. The smell of the oceans keeping me hoping that the Lord would redeem me. Oh, why'd you leave me? Destitute, heartbroken, shamed. I see my little brother die with a whack from a cane. So much pain and blood-stained pit of the ship. I was chained to a dead man. They used me for a bedpan. They grabbed my neck in a hot iron burn. Check my ass for worms and abominable germs. Then I gas or breath hard, flustered and weak. Pig grease my physique. Yes, they check my teeth. Now I hear the jingle of coins, my worst fear. I'm sold for some rum and beer. The crowd cheers. Meet my master, a sadistic, effeminate. Made me run 19 miles to his tenement. For 10 years, I broke my back. No respect, no love. Then one day snap. But they had a plan for that. They put my head in a burlap sack, my hands strapped. I was thrown in the back of the car, my heart's bound. The faggot ass man's just touching, feeling me now. He's rubbing on my chest, lust fills his breath. Gave me the kiss of death, and there's no time left. I feel the thick hemp rope that I made with my own hands. Noosed around my neck is irony for a man named Joe Walker. The spirit was free on October 11th. I swung from a tree. Slave ships docked and up come the blocks. Unload the stock with chains and locks. Whips crack, bodies bloody and bros. We take it back, can't forget. Let my people react. Chain react, cause all my black people forget. Destroyed by the knowledge they lack. 400 years is what happened to black Jew, Israelite, diaspora.
Stuck on the run, they already got one of my sons. Sold him for a bottle of brandy and a gun. Fatigue from the hot rays of the sun, but there's no quitting. Blisters on my feet, arms, legs, mosquito bitten. Left my wife, another son, and what I hope is a safe place. Out for blood and revenge, just to save face. As long as I'm alive, it's death to the uncircumcised. They enslaved and sold my fam. The sons of Ham and Ishmael. For more detail, I already killed 2 of their males. They raided the temple, defamed the Holy Grail. I can't fail, I'm destined to prevail. Just ahead, I see an Ishmaelite riding his Clydesdale. He stops taking sip from his canteen. I duck down, cheetah moving so we can't see. The sun beams on my machete, so the blade gleams while he daydreams. Unseen, I chop the leg of the unclean. Now the hunter does the hunting. He falls screaming on his knees, begging please not to kill him. I gag his mouth, hoping nobody hurt him. One swipe to the neck, off goes his turban. His curtains, mind of a dirty surgeon. Cut and don't care, blood on my hands, I run scared. Not prepared for what the future holds. I'm still bold, prideful in fact. Next I hear a snap, got caught slipping. Messed around and stepped in a bear trap. Out comes the nets and ropes. Bye to my dreams and hopes. The heathen got me, beat me, dragged me to a boat. Threw salt on my wounds, beat me till I swelled like a balloon. Laugh and spit in my face, forced me at the finest, went in the way to escape.
Slave ships docked and up come the blocks. Unload the stock with chains and locks. Whips crack, bodies bloody and bros. We take it back, can't forget. Let my people react. Chain react, cause all my black people forget. Destroyed by the knowledge they lack. 400 years is what happened to black Jew, Israelite, diaspora.
Master, not tonight, please. Words of my wife as I listen to her scream. As more of this demon sweat and blood drips on her cheek. Blood drips from my lips as my teeth punctures and bleeds. As my soul strickens and plots to redeem. Her womb infested like maggots with the white man's seed. Lord, what kind of species is these? She only makes love to me in her dreams. But even in those, she flashbacks to the face of the beast. Months later, she found in pregnancy, where they cut her open and stomp out the fetus with her feet. Strange fruit no longer swing from trees. They swing from the corner blocks of Martin Luther King. How long will these modern day savages come to be? We the words of that Willie Lynch letter that we helped to complete. Deuteronomy 28:6. This be part of the earth where the grass didn't grow. God concrete jungle. Like this blinking box by the shadow. Illuminati eye is plotting, niggas just clocking. So I send up prayers and return stares back to them streets that's watching.
Slave ships docked in, up come the blocks. Unload the stock with chains and locks. Whips crack, bodies bloody and bruised. We take it back and forget. Make my people react. Chain react, cause all my black people forget. Destroyed by the knowledge they lack. 400 years is what happened to black Jew, Israelite, diaspora.
You've been sitting down and laying down and bowing down for 400 years. I think it's time to stand up. I think it's time to stand up.
I second that. It's time to stand up, man. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High, IQAhmath. It's your brother, IQAhmath. I acquired first name, IQ is all the same. You've reached another episode, DSTM, Don't Shoot the Messenger. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. But if you have not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Peace to the family in the house, man. Shalom, shalom. Good morning, all that good stuff. Good afternoon, depending on your time zone. Yeah, we're here. Is anybody hungry? Let me know. Because I got the call, Agent Orange, Uber Eat. He called up Uber Eats and DoorDash. He ordered some tacos. He's still eating right now. I heard that there's still taco sauce and birria all over his shirt. And, over there in Davos in the meeting, 2026, the meeting of the wicked, the meeting of the dark council, he backtracked, man. He backtracked and he called himself striking a deal for Greenland. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get that figured out. Project Sunrise exposed. If y'all remember Project Sunrise, I talked about that a while back, dealing with the new renovations that they're planning in Gaza. We're gonna see about the truth behind that too, man. They're not gonna like this one today, man. So don't be surprised if I get some technical problems, some go down, some wrong. But we got to talk about it, man. The truth got to be known, man. Salute to all the family that's in the house. Appreciate all y'all tapping in and supporting. Without further ado, man, let's get right to it. Let me share my screen correctly and we'll go ahead and get busy. Everybody's all right out there, man. I know we got, depending on where you at, a lot of weather issues jumping off, man. If you're all right, man, throw a 7 in the chat. You need some prayers. You need some prayers. Throw a 12 in the chat. Right? Let it be known, man. We gotta look out for everybody. I got a couple of notifications and calls and texts regarding, some of our family is out there. From Detroit to northern Florida to Tennessee, getting some rough weather kicking in this weekend, man. That cold front is tripping. Who we got? Okay, Nicole, we got you, man. You already on our prayer list, but we're gonna make sure we send them some stronger ones fervently for you and the family. But everybody else is doing good. All praises, man. All right. We're gonna go ahead and get right there. Let's go ahead and get right, man. No further ado. Now, this is funny. Almost, y'all. Almost. Agent Orange, man, hit the Air Force One, flying out to Europe, going to Switzerland to go to that Davos conference. If y'all haven't heard about that, the Davos conference is all the world leaders come together, all of the sorcerers, the high witches, the warlocks, the money changers, they all come together, man. They start plotting and planning about future world events. It's rounded around the World Economic Forum. If you want to call it the NWO conference, that New World, you know what conference? Yeah. That's exactly what they come together for. A lot of high wickedness. What's going on in that? My face is frozen. What happened? How about now? See what I what I say from the beginning. Didn't I say they're not gonna like this? If I got some problems jumping off, y'all already know what's gonna happen. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, there you go. So expect some problems. Expect some problems. And that ain't me. I just said it earlier. And sure enough, within a couple minutes, I'm frozen and all kind of madness jumping off, man. But F that. We're going in, doesn't matter. All right. If y'all could hear what I said earlier, all the world leaders flying out to Switzerland to have their Davos conference. And that's the meeting of the high witches, the warlocks, the money changers, everybody, world leaders come together to start discussing plans about the quote unquote future, right? And the new world that they're trying to create. And Agent Orange, man, that Air Force One almost had a mishap. Almost. We almost had a tragedy that was going to strike the world, But they said it was a little minor thing, but nonetheless, Trump's Air Force One made an emergency U-turn with the president on board. Yeah, they said they had an electrical issue, man. They had to turn around. They didn't want to have no problems. As much as we've been seeing problems with these Boeing jets and all that, you remember about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, all them planes kept crashing and colliding in the air and on the tarmacs having problems and everything else. He almost got caught up in that. We almost was rid of him. Not to say that it was an emergency, crash or something like that, but still. D. Trump's Air Force One was plunged into darkness and forced to U-turn in midair en route of a crucial summit in Switzerland. The president's jet was heading to the World Economic Forum in Davos when it suffered an electrical fault. Okay, so maybe this is it. I'm gonna just throw this out there. In all fairness, maybe this was his moment, his turn to God moment. Maybe that's why when he sat down, he said, "You know what? I'm not gonna take Greenland by force. Hey, maybe we can negotiate a deal and da 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 da. I don't want to do this war stuff anymore. Let me get a peace table, a peace conference jumping off." Maybe that was his turn to God moment. Maybe he got spooked on that plane. Do y'all think that was the case? Trump found God, man, in this little emergency U-turn, man. He got spooked on Air Force One and said, "Hey, you know what I was gonna say at this conference? I'm gonna switch up." And then now all of a sudden he's the president of peace again, and I don't think so. We don't think so, do we? All right. So the crew of the modified Boeing 747-200B made the call to abort the journey less than an hour into the flight and head back to the U.S. White House officials said the decision was made out of an abundance of caution and stressed the electrical issue was minor. Minor? Well, they should have just kept going, man. Go all the way, But nonetheless, I thought that was interesting. He almost didn't make it. All right, keep them prayers up, though, y'all. Keep them prayers up. Continuing on. Now, here we go. It's been a lot of hype, a lot of talk, man. One thing for sure, two things for certain, man. When I put the thumbnail and the title in that he's serving up tacos, we know that that's the acronym for Trump always chickens out. I mean, this guy must be a supreme troll. When you talk about on the internet, man, and people trolling and leaving comments and talking crazy and keyboard warriors and, going online, excuse me, trolling people, not really meaning what they're saying, but they're just doing it for attention, shock value. They're looking for views. I mean, he must be the supreme troll, man. Because this guy, he be talking a whole lot of stuff, man. But at the end all be all, he always backs down, switches tunes. And but nonetheless, I know I went over the lesson last week. You're gonna say, "Hey, well, you said Isaiah 50 was talking about Greenland." And it is, and it's still talking about NATO. It's still talking about. Now I said, could that be the one that sparks it off? What's going on? Where we have to try to find the Revelation 17 and 16, where these 10 horns, they're gonna hate the whore. What's gonna cause this particular conflict? He still ain't good with NATO. He still ain't good with it, as we're gonna see. So don't fret. the word is still true. Everything is still going according to the plan of the Most High. But you know, this guy's a coward, man. He's a coward. Period. He's a bully. He's got no problem when it comes down to raining hell on earth on Venezuela, on Yemen, on Nigeria. He's got no problems when it comes to raising hell into Cuba and all these other little small countries. Iran, he lit them up a couple of times, but Iran is heavily armed up and they're ready to rock. But they can't get the green light unless Putin says, yes, we got your back, let's go. So Iran got to kind of sit on their hands. But overall, he bullies all these other nations, man. And then when the Greenland thing comes up and NATO jumps out the window and says, hold on, we're putting troops on the ground. We ain't letting it go down like that. You ready to go right now? Do you want to fulfill prophecy right now? And he said, oh, hold on. No. I won't do it by force, but you're going to remember this. If you don't give us what we want, I'll remember this. I got a good memory. As to say, like, when you need me in the back end, we're going to get you. We'll turn our back from you. One of the other reasons why when he made this announcement, he said he's going to start the tariffs on Europe, that stock market hit the dirt. So he had to look at one or two things: crash the economy for the sake of war and getting to Greenland, or make another statement so the stocks can get back up on their feet, and then he can kind of finagle his way into another deal. But anyway, Trump rules out taking Greenland by force, sparking stock market rally. You see, it's all about money. It's all about finances. When he said, I'm going to lay them tariffs out, the stock market went wild. Everything red, everything went down. So when they tell him, Mr. President, everything's crashing, blah, 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 you're losing all this money. But oh, what happened? Yeah, that announcement, the tariffs. You know how that affected the markets and the European markets? And you know how that affected our markets here? Everything's going down. What are you doing? So he had to make a U-turn. But look at this. President Trump has vowed not to take Greenland by force and said the U.S. would back NATO 100%, cueing sighs of relief from European leaders after making a long-winded argument on Wednesday at the World Economic Summit about why the Danish territory should be in U.S. hands. Trump made a pledge. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force, where we would be, frankly, unstoppable, Trump first said, but I won't do that, okay? He continued, now everyone says, oh, good. And the way he said that, if you've seen the speech, he kind of said, like, you can have a sigh of relief. However, that ain't what I mean. He said, I know everyone's saying, oh, good, but, when that butt kicks in, that means there are ulterior motives. We know the scripture. You already know. Let's get him. Proverbs 26, verse 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. So, when he said that, he was like, yeah, I know everybody's saying, okay, woof, good, he's not going to do it. But at the same time, he doubled back and was like, but, if you don't give us what we want, we're going to remember this and da-da-da-da-da. So now they're talking about giving them small little sovereign areas for the U.S. to control and giving them military back. And I had and they already have military bases over there, but I had a video too. I didn't play it, man, but there was for all intents and purposes, she looks, and I don't know, but she looks to be indigenous to Greenland, which was kind of a shock to me. Because I didn't know, I'm thinking ain't nothing but white folks over there, right? But she was speaking about how the people of Greenland don't like America. They know about colonization. She was like, he does nothing but bully the brown people. She was like, as you can see, I'm brown and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Give me 1 second, because it's kind of like a length. It's probably like a 7-minute video or something like that. I'm not gonna play all of it, right? But let me see. Now I'm gonna just show y'all the.
So I think Trump doesn't know about Green.
Hold on. Now,
Greenlandic people, we don't really value cash and Kardashian lips and fake boobs and stuff like that.
she's a politician out of Greenland. Froze again, huh? Here we go. You see what I'm saying? All right, don't say I didn't warn y'all. Don't say I didn't warn y'all. Bear with me, y'all. Let me try again. This is a politician out of Greenland, right? Now I'm gonna call her sister off of face value and off of what she's saying by the testimonies of colonization and how she talks about brown people being oppressed by America. Let me let it go.
We don't really value cash and Kardashian lips and fake boobs and stuff like that very highly. Actually, you cannot even own land in Greenland. You can get an allotment for your house and then you own the house on top of the land. But Greenlanders don't believe in the land is for one person, is for everyone. And so is the seas, like the riches that we have there. So it's a big miscalculation that he thinks that Greenlanders would be incited by cash or something like that. We're not. And even if you were to say like $100,000 per person or something like that, we wouldn't give up free healthcare. We wouldn't give up free education. We wouldn't give up being a part of Europe. We wouldn't give up on our sovereignty eventually. And we're a very sovereign people within the Kingdom of Denmark. We're autonomous right now. We do not want to be rich like the Americans are. See how greedy they are. They're even trying to shoot their friends or invade their friends just for greed. And we know that there's minerals and oils possibly in our underground, and that's worth so much more even than that. But even if we didn't have that,
Oh, you hear what she said? Minerals, oils. She said, "Hey, we know we got it." What has his quest been all this time? He's always his colonization. He's looking for minerals, resources, riches, gold. What's the difference between what he's doing right now and the Spaniard conquistadors when they came over here? Francisco Pizarro, Juan de Soto, Ponce de Leon, Christopher Columbus. You know, all these guys, man. All of them looking for gold, resources, riches, looking for slaves, looking for places to colonize, take over, looking for places to turn out with their doctrine of discovery. Same thing's going on right now.
we would still not be bought. So everyone here knows about the Inuit in Alaska and all of the native tribes, Indians, American Indians who are there. Their land was taken from them and they haven't been treated that well in America. And we know that Trump is very much surrounding himself, at least with the white.
So y'all gonna see. And if you continue watching this, you can look out here. Greenlandic politician shows mirror to Trump over island invasion plan. If you want to look it up on YouTube, but she gets to talking about how he likes to oppress brown people. You know, she just got to making mention of his histories with the Native Americans and whatnot. It's the same type of thing, man. The colonization and the destruction of the Indies is still going on right now, right? So now he's jumping off the window and he said, well, I'm not going to take it by force, but I'm going to do it a whole nother way. One other thing that we got to see too, like you said, when he's speaking fair, we don't believe it, right? But one other thing the Most High told us too, and let me see if it'll work. Sirach 37. Oh, it worked. All praise. Now, Sirach 37 and 11. It says, neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward. Okay, hold on. Let's rise it up a little bit. And one thing for sure, this is all regarding the Davos. This is all regarding global control set up by the so-called white man, making sure he continually has an iron grasp on the earth and control over it. When they have these particular councils, the Davos meetings, the World Economic Forum meetings, the Bilderberg meetings, This is all about him trying to maintain control. And every agenda gets discussed there. Decisions are made, and they start pushing things forward. Sirach 37:7. Every counselor extolled the counsel, but there is some that counselor for himself. So when he went over there, it was all about what he wanted to put out there as far as the America First agenda. Wanted to make sure that he had his foot on the neck of all the NATO members. Because remember last week, he said, I don't need y'all, y'all need me. We got the money, we got the weapons, we got it all. Like, give me Greenland or else. And they had to scramble around and was like, well, I guess this is it. We might as well go ahead and get some troops on the ground. Germany, get ready. Denmark, get ready. He's extolling a counsel for himself. And we're going to see why this is also important too. Because I'm going to show y'all how much money this cat has made during his campaign and during his presidency. And we're only a year and a month in since he's been president again. Counseling for himself. Beware of a counselor and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself, lest he cast a lot upon thee, and say unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee. So you can't trust this cat, man. You talk about forked tongue. Esau, man. I mean, he's at the top of the list. He's a hypocrite. He's a liar. Remember last week I played the video and they said, remember I told you I couldn't find the actual clip where he said, I try to tell the truth when I can. But remember that politician, that reporter asked him and said, do you regret all the lies that you said? He said, huh? What are you talking about? Next question. And never answered it. He was getting ready to get called out on all the lies that he said throughout his campaign, the things that he didn't come clean on, the things that he was a hypocrite on. But see, now he's setting them up saying, hey, your way is good. Okay, yeah, we're going to work it out. Don't worry. Let's make a deal. But if it doesn't benefit America, he's going to make sure that they pay the price, whether it's economically, whether it's through war and bloodshed, whether it's through political policies. He's going to make sure. And that's why he said, that way is good. Yeah, okay, you guys got me on this one. I'm going to back down now, but just watch. Consult not with one that suspect thee, and such as envy thee. Verse 11. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. So this is all wisdom and understanding that we give regarding counsel, meetings, things that relationships, people that you're dealing with, things that you're observing, just like we're looking right now. Right? But here's the next line. Neither with a coward. He said, don't consult with a coward with a coward in matters of war. See, that's why I said he's got no problem hitting up these smaller countries. He's got no problem imposing his will and bullying them and setting the fear out to the rest of the world. Remember, like the security detail guy from Venezuela. Notice we still ain't heard from him no more. We ain't seen his face. We don't know what's going on. You ain't heard about Maduro. He might be in the shoe program somewhere. Who knows? We ain't seen. There's so much folly going on, man. It ain't even funny. No updates on him. He's supposed to be locked up with Diddy and 6ix9ine and who knows whoever else. Well, I mean, we ain't heard nothing from him or his wife. For all we know, man, that dude is on a plane to some damn island in Tahiti somewhere, and told the man, stay over there. We're gonna get this regime change jumping off. We'll fly you back when we got to get this court matter situations figured out. Who knows, man? I don't trust nothing that these cats be putting out there. But one thing is said that you don't consult with a coward when it comes down to war. He's constantly cowarding out when it comes down to these particular matters of war. So he eats them tacos, man. Trump always chickens out. I know many of us in the Israelite community and reading the prophecies and looking for a little bit more action, in regards to World War III or our deliverance or end time prophecies, and we didn't get it, but it's okay because there's still a lot of things that they discussed at that meeting that is very crucial to the future of the world as we know it. Now it says, nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness. He fits that mold too. Nor with the slothful for any work, nor with the hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with the idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. Right. So when he's sitting back at these particular meetings, let me get to this next one. So he backed down. They said that they worked out a little deal. We don't know the details of it. He's been running around talking about he's got this council of peace now, and everybody wants in. He always lying. Everybody wants in. We put the invite out to Putin. He said he's very interested, but we're still waiting here to hear back his commitment. Meanwhile, France said we not with it. We're sick of you sitting at the table, always calling the shots, wanting to take all the glory. He's talking about this peace in the Middle East. Nobody would have thought that. There ain't no peace in the Middle East. I mean, this dude be lying through his teeth, man. It's not even funny. Okay, let's continue. Look, Trump throws an unhinged tariff tantrum over France. Over prospect of France refusing to join his new board of peace. Do you see what I'm saying? He went over there to establish a quote unquote board of peace, and they were talking about, the reporters was asking him, "Whoa, this is a great deal. Well, how long is the deal for?" It's forever. It's forever. And they're like, "Okay, but is anything signed?" Not yet, but we're working on it. Yeah, it's a great deal going on. It's never happened before. Everybody wants peace, and I'm getting everybody together. Oh, okay. Well, is such and such committed? Is such and such. Well, we haven't heard from. We put out the word. I mean, winging it. I wish I had that interview where the reporters was asking him after he left the Davos meeting and talking about this board of peace. Clearly, France said we're not with it, and now he's mad, and he's threatening more tariffs. He just got through threatening Canada and told them, if you make a deal with China, because remember both of them had tariffs on them, and China said, well, we'll deal with Canada. We got EV vehicles we'll send over there. You got resources, this, that, and the third. Let's work a deal out. Backdoor Agent Orange. Agent Orange jumped out the window and told Canada, man, I'm gonna hit you with 100% tariffs if you deal with them Moabites over there. I was gonna call them something else. If you deal with Moab, I'm hitting you with 100% tariff. So where and how is he establishing peace when he's threatening to economically destroy whole countries? Let me get that real quick. I'm gonna show y'all. See that? Look at that. Trump threatens Canada with 100% tariffs over China deal. He can make he can make deals with China. Japan's over there buying up all the debt of America. China's buying up debt, land, and everything else. He can make deals, but Canada, no, you can't do it. Okay. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to slap a hefty 200% tariff on French wine and champagne if France refuses his invitation to join the newly formed Board of Peace. Did you hear that? My way or the highway, man. If you don't join this Board of Peace, I'm hitting you with 200% tariffs on that nice little wine you got, your cognac. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem for the yak drinkers out there, because if it gets hit, you already paying whatever $35, $40 for some Hennessy. Add another 200% tax onto that. Excuse me. That might cause a problem. Threatening them, if you don't get over here and fall in line, I'm gonna hit you. The board, ostensibly created to supervise the reconstruction of war-ravaged Gaza, we're gonna talk about that, seems to have a much wider remit of maintaining global order, with Trump at the head, according to its founding charter. So, if we get back to the lesson I did last week about Revelation 17 and the woman that sits atop of the beast, that's how you know America's running the show. Because who's at the head? Who's controlling the beast system? Who's sitting on top of the 10 heads? Trump, America. They follow America's lead. America is the most influential country in the world. You know that I don't know if any of y'all seen that movie, King of New York, Frank White. And he got out of jail when Frank White got out of jail. And he said, "Hey, you guys got fat while I was out." You know, he was the big time, drug kingpin. He got locked up. The streets got loose. Everybody started, selling and getting their money, organizing their own crews. He gets out. He wants to start regulating and put everybody back under his boot. He said, "Man, if a nickel bag is sold in the park, I want in." Nothing moves without Frank White. Trump doing the same thing. If you don't get down, you're gonna lay down. I'm hitting you with tariffs first. Trump's tariff threat is a response to French President Emmanuel Macron's apparent hesitation to participate in the initiative. "I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join, but he doesn't have to join," Trump stated, referring to the French president. You see that? So there's still a rift between NATO and America. You just seen the sister, the politician over there in Greenland. She's like, "Hey, we don't like what's going on. We don't want America ruling over us. We don't want America's involvement. We don't like the colonization. We don't want your money. We're cool." And remember, Trump said, whether you like it or not, you're going to sip of this wine. You're going to drink the wrath or the fornication. Matter of fact, let's get that in Revelation 14. And look at this. Verse 8. "And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." It's forced. It's forced. Remember, he said, "Man, we can do it the nice way or we can do it the hard way. You're going to drink. I'm going to." That's why he told France, "Hey, look, you don't have to, but you're going to." This guy is notorious, man. Notorious. He's a cold piece of work, man. Look at this. And now you got Governor Newsom, man. He's trying to throw in his bid to try to persuade and influence, his political campaign, because they're trying to get him to be in the 2028 election. If he's in the 2028 election, good Lord. The governor of California, the guy who's pretty much created an exodus. People are running from California like it's on fire, literally and figuratively. All of the taxes, all of the dang fraud, money line. I mean, you name it. He's sat back and it's been done under his watch. Now you see here, he's jumping out saying, "Look, Europe, y'all got to do something. Don't let him get away with this." Trump's a T-Rex and pathetic. "Leaders need to confront him," rages Governor California's Newsom. Leading Democrat launches broadside at politicians who bow to Trump. "You mate with him or he devours you." Did you hear that? You mate with him or he devours you. Why is he even using those particular terminology? How do you mate with somebody? This is how you know that America is that woman. And all the nations are going to commit fornication with him. You see how that works? Most High, he puts the words in these damn Edomites and these politicians' mouths to make it correlate with the scriptures to help us understand. Why would you even say mate with him? Or he devours you, one or the other, and you need to stand up to it. Davos, Switzerland, California Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom / Gruesome on Tuesday called global leaders pathetic for failing to challenge U.S. President Donald Trump. I can't take this complicity of people rolling over. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. I mean, handing out crowns, the Nobel Prizes that are being given away is just pathetic. And I hope people understand how pathetic they look on the world stage. So I don't know how this is going to fare with him if he, is running in 2028. You say all this, World leaders gonna remember this, right? Maybe if there is a 2028 election, maybe he's the one that's going to bring in the 10 horns hating the whore because he done said this. Who knows? Either way, America is setting themselves up for the prophetic ending that Revelation 17:16 and other scriptures have pronounced for it, just by how they're looking at and relating to the European nations, the 10 horns, NATO, etc. All right. So he's bumping his gums. He's talking crazy. Russia cheers the growing NATO rift over Greenland. See, that was another thing that we got to look at. Is Russia was on the sideline saying, "Yeah, keep fighting, keep biting each other's heads off, keep at it, keep cannibalizing each other. We love it. It's gonna make it easier for us." And that could have been the reason too that Agent Orange said, "No, we got to hold on, man. Our enemies is over here whooping. He's watching us go at it with each other. I don't think this is gonna work out right." See, one of the things is also when you're talking about these Davos meetings, man. When I said this is the meeting of the minds, I'm gonna just drop down. We're gonna read verse 3. This is because this is who they entrusted in this whole thing. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. This is what they employ when it comes down to the direction and the guidance of spirit. Excuse me. Revelation 11:8 tells us that America has the spirit of Egypt and the spirit of Sodom. So this same spirit relies on idol worship, charmers, familiar spirits, wizards. These are the technocrats. These are the scientists. These are the people that have the money, real estate developers, global controllers. This is all everybody who was sitting there at the meetings in Switzerland. You know, back in the day, they used to say everything that we're talking about now was tinfoil hat, conspiracy. This is all made up stuff, man. You're crazy if you think that there's a globally lead this meeting in secret and talking to, oh, there is no such thing as an NWO. Oh, they ain't talking about no one. Excuse me. One economic policy, so forth and so on. Like now it's just out there. They're not hiding it no more. Psalm 64. Hear my voice, O Yahweh. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matters. So when they have these particular meetings, this is what they're doing, encouraging themselves on evil matters, meaning they want to continue on with global control, the AI agendas, considering all of the moves that America is doing, colonizing, taking over lands, stealing resources, kidnapping presidents. Excuse me. That was dry. Encouraging themselves in an evil manner, they commune of lying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, but their inward thought of every one of them and their heart is deep. So they're having deep counsel right now, or that's what they had over there in Switzerland, right? Deep counsel. And now they put it on the world stage and they make it seem like, hey, we're doing this for the betterment for the world. Let's read this and keep this as a Psalms 140 as a prayer for the day in regards to the things that they're doing, because you know the distractions are heavy. You know, we see everything that's going on with ICE up there in Minnesota, the uproars that was going on in Iran, you know, the things that happen in Venezuela. You see a lot of those things kind of dying down now as they're leading up to this World Davos meeting, because now this is where the secret councils come into play. The evil works of laying snares and traps for everybody. Now all that's out there now. So while everybody was looking the other way, they over here conspiring and counseling. Now it's too late. They don't know how they came out with it. So look at it. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart continually. Are they gathered together for war? They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Say lie. That's what I would say, man. White man speak with forked tongue. That's what he does. Sharpen his tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. They speak deadly words. They speak poisonous things that can infect you, that, overtake your body, your movements, your spirit, how you, conduct yourselves as men and women. They want to control every aspect of it. That's why when you're just seeing gruesome say, either you mate with them or you die, like, you only got two options. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. That's what they're doing. When they have these particular meetings, from the Davos meetings, the Bilderberg meetings, all them, that's what they're doing. Laying snares, putting forth agendas, looking to gain control, changing policies, doing secret behind the doors deals to gain money and wealth for themselves. Continuing on, it says, I said unto Yahweh, thou art my power. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Yahweh. O power, the Lord, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked. Further not his device, lest they exalt themselves. That's a cold prayer right there. You ask the Most High, man, they not to further his device. They can't exalt themselves. So that's what they're looking to do. As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into the deep pitch, that they rise not up again. Yeah, that's what he's looking for. Utter destruction, the lake of fire, the judgment to fall upon them, right? Let not an evil speaker be established on the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. So we can see, ultimately, all these things are going to turn back on. They can sit back and counsel all they want to. They can conspire. They can do whatever they want. But ultimately, the Most High is going to overthrow them. Excuse me. I know that Yahweh will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence. So that's a prayer for the day, man. Everything that we're seeing, we're understanding and knowing what they're planning and plotting. Always remember, man, that the Most High is going to always be the ultimate controller and know what's going to happen. And the end all be all is that their plans are going to come to naught and they're going to be destroyed. Russia cheers a growing NATO rift over Greenland. So NATO, Russia was cheering it on. He was happy to see that NATO was fractured, right? But in the same time, Agent Orange is running around here talking about that there's peace in the Middle East. In them same Davos conferences and interviews that he received, and they were talking about the border peace, and he said, there's peace in the Middle East. Nobody ever believed it. Yeah, there's nothing going on over there right now. What? You just bombed Syria, 2 weeks ago? You've got an armada of ships heading out to Iran. We talked about it last week. Remember they said it's going to take about a week for them to get over there? Matter of fact, hold on. You said it's peace in the Middle East.
To Iran's leadership in the regime. I know that you can't talk about what's on the table, but what is your response to Iran's leadership in the regime continuing to taunt you, threaten you, especially given over the weekend you said it's time for new leadership in Iran?
Well, they shouldn't be doing it, but I've left notification. Anything ever happens, we're going to blow the whole country is going to get blown up.
Did you hear that? If anything happens, we're going to blow the whole country up. Now, is he trolling? Is he just talking? Or does he really mean he's going to fall through with it? That's the one thing with this cat, man. He's such a devil, man. You don't know when and if he's talking the truth, when he's not. You know, the right wing cats say when Trump says something, he's going to do it. I can't tell. Let me double back. He said it again.
But I've left notification. Anything ever happens, we're going to blow the whole country is going to get blown up. So we've, originally Biden should have said something. When they made a statement, we always said, why isn't Biden saying anything? Because he didn't. But a president has to defend a president. Like if I were here and they were making that threat to somebody, not even a president, but somebody like they did with me, I would absolutely hit them so hard.
Now, here's how we know he's lying. He said, now, if any president's been threatened or they were, woofing any type of threat against America, he would hit them hard, right? Let me see if I can find this real quick. Look at this. Iran issues sickening assassination threat against Trump. This time, it will not miss the target. So they've already gone on record threatening. They already said, man, we'll take you out. Next time, they ain't gonna miss. Now he just got through saying if it goes down, he always manages to throw slow Biden under the bus, man. Poor slow Biden, man. What did he do? Man, that dude can barely hold on to the breath right now, man. He's still beating them down. But that's the battle between the Democrats and the Republicans, right? But we'll play this back. So the threat's already been there, but he ain't do nothing. That's Taco Supreme.
When they made a statement, we always said, why isn't Biden saying anything? Because he didn't. But a president has to defend a president. Like if I were here and they were making that threat to somebody, not even a president, but somebody like they did with me, I would absolutely hit them so hard. But I have very firm instructions. Anything happens, they're going to wipe them off the face of this earth.
I know that you can't talk about what's on the table, but
more tacos being served. Y'all seen it. I just showed it. Iran did put out threats. He ain't do nothing. Right? So sometimes, man, we can't even take what he's saying seriously. But as the scriptures say, be not ignorant of any matter small or great in Sirach 5 and 15. You got to consider it at least, because you never know. He might just go forward with it. But as he says, he's the president of peace, and there's peace in the Middle East right now. Meanwhile, Iran is throwing out threats to him. He's lining up more an armada of ships going over there. He's talking about he's going to blow up the whole country. Meanwhile, he said there's peace in the Middle East. I can't tell. But look at this. The U.S. is continuing to build up its military presence in the Middle East ahead of a possible attack on Iran. The USS Abraham Lincoln and its carrier strike group is now in the Indian Ocean. A U.S. naval official told the War Zone on Thursday. The CSG was in the South China Sea until U.S. President Donald Trump ordered it to move west. In addition, more cargo jets and aerial refueling tankers have arrived in the region. Trump on Thursday said a large naval presence is heading to the region. So either he's doing this to flex some muscle, or possibly there could be a strike that goes down on Iran. That we just have to wait and see. But so far, he hasn't made good on what he said he's going to do. And Iran is sitting back calling his bluff. They may have calmed down a little bit with the executions and people dying over there, but that's their own business. That ain't because they're scared of, Agent Orange, because Russia clearly came out and said, whatever America's thinking about doing in Iran, think twice. Think twice, because we're ready too. So let's continue on. We're gonna see what else is up. Look at it. Iran has tested ICBM that could reach the eastern portion of the U.S. Here's another threat. A new report on social media reveals that Iran claims to have tested an intercontinental ballistic missile that has range to reach the eastern United States. The claim comes from Mahdi Shif Tabrizi, an Iranian professor and expert on Russia. He wrote on an X account that it was translated. It is said that Iran, with Russia's approval, remember Ezekiel 38, carried out its first test on an intercontinental ballistic missile with a range of 10,000 kilometers. This test was carried out or aimed towards a point in Siberia, Russia. A report from the Middle East Media Research Institute explained, according to the report, the missile test was carried out with Russia's approval. The post included a video of the missile test. So apparently, if this is true, Iran has ICBMs that can reach the East Coast, and it's being overseen by Russia. So what do you think they got their technology from? Remember, Ezekiel 38 says that Russia's going to help Persia, which is Iran, and be a guard unto them. They're going to arm them up. Everybody's got to come with their weapons and be prepared for the inevitable World War III conflict, right? So Iran apparently is testing missiles saying they can hit America. That's why Agent Orange is rushing over there to Greenland saying, I need that Golden Dome. ASAP. Now look at this. Before we get there, you know the scriptures, right? 1 Timothy. A lot of people love to quote this, right? But they don't get it right. They always say, oh, the love of money is no, not the money. For the love of money is the root of all evil. You know, sometimes people say money is the root of all evil. No, the love of it, the coveting of it, right? That's where the evil comes into play, because once you get exposed to certain manners of money, all these particular spirits and gateways and doors is being opened up to you. Temptations rise to unknown levels. You know, that's why when you see all these particular celebrities, entertainers, athletes, and all that, you know, can never find happiness because it ain't money. They find themselves in even worse positions. I made mention of him earlier. Look at Diddy. Doesn't matter. Remember, at one point in time, he was getting ready to be the first billionaire in hip hop and all this other stuff, and all of his endorsements, from his clothing line to the liquor to the music industry and all these. Oh, he was riding high. Now you see what happened to him, right? Even when you see these nepo baby kids, what's the cat from All in the Family? Rob Schreiner, whatever his name is, Rob Reiner, whatever, got put to death by his own son. Dope fiend son, man. You see a lot of these kids, man, that come from these celebrity parents. They get everything, but guess what? They ain't happy. They over here doing drugs, wilding out, acting a fool, killing their parents, doing all kind of stuff. The love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So as the old saying goes, man, you want to know where evil is, man, follow the money. So let's look at this. How Trump has pocketed 1.4 trillion. Yeah, that's a trillion, right? Or is it a billion? Slakia. That's 500,000. That's a million. That's a billion. $1.4 billion. This is under his campaign. In the last year, 13 months. Let's walk it down. This is why when you see him making particular decisions that affect the markets, he's got to taco out because it's affecting his pockets in some form or fashion, or his billionaire donors and his billionaire buddies in the tech sector tell him, hey, you messing things up, man. This cash cow that we got going on, man, don't mess it up. Look, the Trumps have made at least $23 million from licensing Mr. Trump's name overseas since his reelection. $23 million. In the Middle East, man, they got a golf course. I think they named after him, a hotel, all kind of stuff. So if anything, they want to put his name up on something, they license it out. He may not have nothing to do with it, but he says, hey, man, give me $2 million. You can use my name for such and such amount of time, tourist attractions, whatever. The Trumps. So this is a family thing, right? Mafia. $23 million. just off of using his name alone. You know, when the scriptures say, man, a good name is better than precious rubies and all that. I mean, this puts a whole nother twist on it. The Trumps are pocketing $28 million from Amazon for a documentary about Melania Trump. So just off of them licensing and doing a documentary for his wife and the things that they required from her and them, Amazon shelled out $28 million just for a documentary on his wife. So let's continue adding up. The Trumps have made at least $867 million through various cryptocurrencies. Remember when he had the Trump coin? They created a Trump coin right before he got elected. That thing ran up and everybody was buying into it and all that. Who knows what's going on with that now? That's why he was running around talking about crypto is going to be the new thing and we're going to get this going and Bitcoin might be it. Pump and dump. Pump up stuff, man. Get people to invest in it, spend all their money, and then they save it, drop it off, man. We got the money. $867 million just in crypto. Qatar gave Mr. Trump a $400 million jet that he will use as Air Force One while president plans to take with him after leaving office. So he got gifted a $400 million airplane. Major tech and media companies have paid Mr. Trump $90.5 million in settlements since his reelection. He sued multiple media outlets and got that money back, $90.5 million just from settlements alone. So if anybody thinks that, you know, when you're dealing with him, it ain't about business and finance, think twice. Because he's in here rolling the bank over and spreading wealth to his family, as we're going to see as we continue on. Watch. Now, remember all that talk about, and I'm, hold on, let me be clear, disclaimer. I am not defending the Somalis that was up there scamming. For all intents and purposes, a vast majority of them is heathens, the Hamites, and they got busted up there in Minnesota running game, right? But again, follow the money. This is the woman who was behind all of it. See, I don't know what the little Edomite kid's name is that was running around doing this whole little fake expose, running to the daycares and exposing the Somali daycares and everything else, and them siphoning off government funds. But guess who the mastermind is? You know, when you're dealing with white collar crimes, there's a reason why they call it white collar crimes. Minnesota fraud mastermind smiles in first jailhouse interview as the former teacher and mom of two insists, quote, she did it by the book. Really? Amy Bach, $250 million. Scam she was running up there in Minnesota. And she was getting involved with them Somalis and putting them on game. As you see here, you see this picture right here with a Jake? If that's a Jake, it might be I can't tell. See, Esau's at the head of all this fraud, man. But you see all them right wing. See, this is why we got to get the immigrants out of here, the Somalis out of here. Remember, and Trump was saying, I don't like them. I don't even want them here. You know, they're pirates and all this other stuff, right? Meanwhile, the biggest pirates, the biggest frauds, the biggest is America. They're the ones running all this game. Esau run all this game, siphoning and fraud. Look, Newsom and the $24 billion missing for the homeless over here in California. And they talking about fraud. Okay. The convicted mastermind behind the massive fraud scandal in Minnesota has revealed she regrets what happened with the nonprofit and claims she thought she was doing everything by the book. In her first jailhouse interview, Amy Bach, 45, defended herself while also expressing remorse over the COVID-era scheme, which saw $250 million go toward the Feeding Our Future operators' lavish lifestyle filled with luxury cars, designer bags, and vacations. The nonprofit will provide taxpayer money to restaurants and caterers in the community to help provide meals to children in need during the pandemic. So the biggest fraud, the one who profited the most, is her. But you ain't really seeing her getting plastered all over the place. Them little dirty, stinking pirate Somalis, you know, they're the ones doing it. See how they frame things, man. See how the narratives get pushed. So let's be clear, man. When it's some crime, when it's some fraud, Esau's always at the helm, man. He's always the one doing it the worst. But you're gonna point to somebody else and say, "Look what they're doing. Look how bad they." Come on, man. Uh, I'm gonna skip this one. But we talked enough about the Greenland thing, right? But it's always acknowledging, man, that the EU, NATO, even though that there's talks about uh, this deal that's been struck, Europe and NATO, they still ain't feeling it, right? So the whole prophecy regarding the land of the north, Revelation 17, that's still on the table. He just didn't push the panic button in regards to war. But the spirit of the rift between the two is still there. Look at this. U.S. is actively seeking regime change in Cuba by the end of the year. There they go. Running through all these lesser countries. And I told y'all, Cuba, they're going to hit Cuba next. Starve them out. He already said he's cutting them off from their access to their to economics and to the oil and everything else. Now he says he wants a regime change. Same way they do in Venezuela. Same way they're going to try to do it over there in Colombia, Mexico, so forth and so on. Look at this. Trump administration has assessed Cuba's economy as being close to collapse and that the government has never been this fragile after losing a vital benefactor in Maduro. These people said officials don't have to have a concrete plan to end the communist government that has held power on the Caribbean island for almost 7 decades, but they see Maduro's capture and subsequent concessions from his allies left behind as a blueprint and warning for Cuba, senior U.S. official said. I strongly suggest they make a deal before it's too late. What's that mean? Look at it. President Trump stated in a January 11 social media post where he said no more oil or money will be going to Cuba. And this is a man of peace, right? He's looking to starve out, destroy. Shalaky, y'all. A country that's been impoverished. And he has no problem stepping on their necks, destroying and taking and pillaging and taking away the land from them. He wants complete control. The Don Road Doctrine, he called it, right? Now look at this. Here's U.S. pledges to starve Iraq of oil revenue if pro-Iranian parties join the new government. So he's employing this all over the world. Starving out nations, starving out people. If you're not with it, remember, he's going to make the nations drink, right? Washington has threatened to block Iraq's access to its own oil revenue. Ain't that some stuff? If anybody has any question about Job 9:24 and who controls the earth, right? When the scriptures say the earth shall be given into the hand of the wicked, the earth, who's controlling these things? How can you have one country tell another country you can't have access to your own money? The water, y'all, the water. How can you not have access to your own money? So when you're asking about who controls the Federal Reserve, the World Banks, the World Council of Churches, everything, it all leads back to Esau and the so-called white man and America and his European constituents. He told Iraq, man, I'm going to block you off and cut off your access to your own oil revenue held in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York if representatives of Shia armed parties enjoying support from Iran are included in the next government. So when he can run and tell Cuba, I don't like your leadership over there, I want a regime change, I'm going to select who goes over there. If you don't do it, no money, no oil, you can starve out. And you can have your whole island go into chaos. You got the whole island turn cannibals. I don't give a damn. Bow down or else. Venezuela, same thing. I don't like Maduro. Remember, he said, man, you can have it all. I'll give you oil, gold. cease my talks with China and Russia, but let's talk. Nope, I don't like you. In so much, I'm gonna raid your house, man. I'm gonna snatch up you and your wife, bring you back to America, man, lock you up, and disappear you. It's some cold stuff, man. How America operates, man. So now he's threatening to cut off Iraq. Now here's another part of what we talked about: Project Sunrise. First of all, before we get to this, let me play this for you. All right. 60 Minutes interview, right? Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, Trump's stepson, or son-in-law, I should say. He's married to his daughter. Are heading up this Project Sunrise. 60 Minutes did an interview, right? And they were talking about what the plan is over there. Pay attention to what Steve Witkoff says. Look at Jared Kushner's body language, and then you hear what he just listen to what he says, and it's all gonna make sense.
Tracks. 3 questions.
I think it's going to cost a lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
The estimates are in the $50 billion range. It might be a little bit less. It might be a little bit more. I happen to think that that's not a lot of money in that region. You have governments that are going to jump on in, and
So the Middle East countries are going to provide the money.
What you'll see European participants.
Did I freeze again? Look like I froze. Okay, so let me double back in case I missed it. 60 Minutes, they're asking about the Project Sunrise, which more or less is the development plans for the new Gaza. They want to create this new little utopia. They want to create this new utopia that we talked about, leveling out all of Gaza, man. They're gonna make it a damn beachfront resort and all this other stuff, right? Okay. We talked about that from the Ben Gurion Canal plans to now it's Project Sunrise. Listen to Steve Witkoff. This guy is supposed to be the diplomatic mouth, international mouth of Trump, right? And now he's got his son-in-law also on the board making these particular decisions. And this guy's a real estate developer.
Participation and so forth.
Not a politician, real estate developer. His specialty is colonization.
I think the beginning of this plan is how to get it going. And that's what me and Jared work on all the time. The money raising, we think, is the easy part. We think that happens relatively quickly. But it's the master plan. And we're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So there
Did you see what Jericho, how he looked at him? Watch him when he gets to talk about master plans. That's white supremacist language. Master plans. He said it back to back. And he said, we've been working on this for the last couple of years. So, mind you, this means pre-October 7th. Remember October 7th? The whole terrorist attack on the poor Israelis, man, and Israel had the right to defend itself. Remember all of that? Prior to that, he just acknowledged we already was talking about getting that land. and these plans. And you're going to see his reaction. You're going to look at him and say, oh, hey, what are you talking? You ain't supposed to say that. Watch this.
The money raising we think is the easy part. We think that happens relatively quickly. But it's the master plan, and we're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
Look, you see him turn his head? He looking at he said, we've been working on this for the last 2 years. In other reports, they're saying that since the peace deal has been struck, over the past couple of months, they've been working on this. You'll find some reports on that saying, oh, after this, and he, Kushner been on record talking about after, this is the peace deal was figured out. We had to figure out what we're going to do next, as if there was no plan. Wyckoff just spilled the beans. Remember, see, that's why in Psalm 64, where the Most High said he's going to cause their tongues to fall on themselves, he just slipped up, said something he wasn't supposed to say, and Kushner's going to look at him. He's going to mumble something under his breath. Watch his lips.
So there are plans already.
Yeah. We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, Jared's been pushing this, and we're working together on it. And
we have plans already. Jared's been working, and you can see him. He go, like, shut up, Steve. Shut up. This is wild, man. You see, let me play it again, y'all, in case y'all missed it one more time.
Participation and so forth. I think the beginning of this plan is how to get it going. And that's what me and Jared work on all the time. The money raising we think is the easy part. We think that happens relatively quickly. But it's the master plan, and we're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So there are plans already.
Yeah. We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, Jared's been pushing this, and we're working together on it. And I think if the world saw the progress so far, they'd be pretty impressed.
Yeah. So basically, over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of organizations that have been.
See, and Kushner want to come in and clean it up. So you heard a 60 Minutes interviewer say, so there's plans. This was planned already. Oh yeah, the master plan. Jared's been on it, and Jared's like, hey, hold up. Oh, so now y'all see what's going on. Colonization 2.0, man. Destruction of the brown nations and peoples. Like I said, I'm not waving no, patriotic flag for the Palestinians. But the evidence is clear regarding who the oppressor of the nations are, who's the one who's making the nations drink, who's the one who's making all the nations bow down. And this is the same reason why the rest of the nation going to praise the children of Israel and Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for liberating the children of Israel so that we can rule over them in righteousness. Remember the scripture say, man, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. They're going to beg for a regime change of the world, not just the country. U.S. said to pitch a Project Sunrise, $112 billion plan to rebuild Gaza as a luxury destination.
I'll go through this 2-year war, 90,000 tons of munitions. There's over 60 million tons of rubble there, and tens of thousands of fatalities. Through the ceasefire, we were able to get to the 20-point plan, ceasefire, release of hostages. Getting the UN resolution passed was a huge, huge effort. Going forward, number one thing is going to be security. Obviously, we've been working very closely with the Israelis to figure out a way through de-escalation. And the next phase is working with Hamas on demilitarization, which I'll talk about in a second. But without security, nobody's going to make investments. Nobody's going to come, build there. We need investments in order to start giving jobs. We want to use free market economy principles. A lot of what President Trump spoke about that he's doing in America, we want to bring the same mindset, the same approach to a place like Gaza to give these people the ability to thrive and have a good life. People are talking about famine. 100% of the food needs are met, and that's been overabundance. The cost of goods have gone down tremendously. Over 55,000 trucks have gone in, and over 1.4 million pallets. And it's been the largest humanitarian effort done into a war zone. And we've developed ways to redevelop Gaza. Gaza, as President Trump's been saying, has amazing potential, and this is.
You see there, everything is the master plan. So when you talk about like a damn global villain. There's always some mastermind, a master plan is behind something corrupt. And here they go. They had a master plan already lined up. Old girl from CNN, 60 Minutes, it was like, so there's a plan already. And they was, Steve Witkoff so happy. Yeah. Kushner like, shit. Oh boy. Got to clean this up. So they already got this whole thing lined up. I'm not going to play too much more of this video. But know that this is already
for the people,
right? Look at this. Kushner's new Gaza plan. Jared Kushner shows off a vision of new Gaza coastal resort with high rises as he reveals work is already underway on rebuilding the city, reduce the rubble. President Trump's son-in-law, remember, we keep it in the family. That $1.4 billion, Kushner's part of that. He's getting some bread out of it too. Showed off his Gaza master plan Thursday that includes, quote, coastal tourism. Corridors with high rises, as he's revealed, work is already underway on rebuilding the war-torn area. Yeah, there's minerals over there. They've been talking about the coastline for trade and all that other stuff, man. I mean, beachfront properties. They looking to make a major come up over there. But where did they discuss this? Kushner gave a PowerPoint presentation amid the president's Board of Peace ceremony at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Oh, okay. Remember that this is where they counsel and they come bringing forth all their plans and dictate policy. Ivanka Trump's husband and special envoy Steve Witkoff have been leading negotiations for the U.S. to end the Gaza war. I'm so sure. False flag, you go set it up, bomb, make an excuse to let the small hat GMOs go wild over there. Destroy, genocide the people over there. Level out the whole place. And within months, they got bulldozers and a whole master plan to redevelop it into this grand utopia that ain't going to include them people. In his presentation, Kushner revealed that 100,000 permanent housing units will be built in Gaza and 500,000 jobs created in construction. You know, they're going to import a whole lot of jobs going over there. They ain't going to be trying to get the Palestinians these jobs. They're going to have some tokens in there. 100,000 permanent housing units. You think they want to destroy that thing so they can have new developed housing and brand new smart technologies, apartments and everything else? The people can't afford that. They starving over there, man, getting destroyed, living in refugee encampments and all that. And all of a sudden, you're gonna build $100,000 permanent housing units. You think that's for them? No, they already said that it's gonna be built around tourism, coastal tourism, and some more stuff. It's gonna be built in Gaza and 500,000 jobs created in construction, agriculture, manufacturing, services, and the digital economy industries. Oh, digital economy. Okay. He said that they will start in Rafah, adding that demolition and removal of rubble is already underway. Speaking alongside a presentation showing generated images of the Gaza coastline with skyscrapers and yachts. you think that the people of Gaza, the Palestinians over there, that they're going to be in these yachts and skyscrapers? We think this can be done in 2 to 3 years. Imagine that. I'm froze again. Somebody let me know. I told y'all, man, they gonna mess around with me today. I already knew it. Okay, look like I'm all right. Let me get a little bit more on this Jared Kushner character, man. Look like I'm all right. All right. So look at this. Jared Kushner, right? This is how you keep it all in the family. Personal life. Kushner has a younger brother, Joshua, and two sisters, Dara and Nicole. He married Ivanka Trump in a you wish. Oh, so he's a small hat. Small hat, huh? Okay. Okay, so hold on, y'all. 1 second. So apparently the video is freezing up. So how about you just take me off? Ain't got to worry about that. And We'll get back over here looking at Jared Kushner. All right. So he married into the Trump family in a You Wish ceremony on October 5th, 2009. They had met in 2005 through mutual friends. Kushner and Ivanka, who converted to Judaism in 2009, are modern Orthodox Jews. Keep a kosher home and observe the Jewish Shabbat. They have 3 children, a daughter born July 2011 and 2 sons, October 2013 and March 2016. Oh, so does it make more sense as to why he has a vested interest in redeveloping and taking over that land? He's got a unfair advantage. I mean, he's essentially fighting for his quote unquote people and going over there, establishing new age colonialism to get them people up out of there, redevelop and take over. Look at this. March 2024, during an appearance at the Harvard Kennedy School, Kushner described the Gaza Strip as, quote, valuable waterfront property. Doesn't sound like they're really concerned about the people living over there. He's into real estate. Witkoff is into real estate. These guys aren't politicians, man. These are money changers. These are guys who go over there and learn how to colonize, take, rob, and pillage lands. Right? Look at this. Look at Job 24 in verse 13. They are those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. Yeah, because they love to operate in darkness. They love to operate in wickedness, evil, iniquity, theft, robbery, murder. Right? Look at it. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. Well, what happened to the people over there? The testimony of the Israelites over here, we already know how they get down. You seen the sister over there in Greenland. She was like, we see how they do the Native Americans over there in America and the brown people, and we're brown over here, and we don't want no parts of that, and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and the needy. Well, the Palestinians over there, I'm sure, can attest and say, that's us. Hey. And in the night as a thief. So what happened? The land got swiped up from them, gets demolitioned. And he says, well, we see nice beachfront property over there. Not, oh, what happened to the people? Oh, we need to go and get them back on a new regime that's going to help them develop and get money and, feed their families and, have new courses of technology to help them advance as a people. They ain't worried about that at all. Continuing on. The eye of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguises his face. In the dark they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. Remember, what did the 60 Minutes woman say? So this was a plan. You guys were already doing this. Oh, yeah. For the past over 2 years ago, we were talking about doing this. And Jared knows. And Jared's like, Steve, God damn you, shut up. In the dark, they dig through houses, which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. That's ours. What did Jared Kushner say right here? Where's he at? He's seeing the Gaza Strip as a valuable waterfront property. That's plain. Marked for themselves in the daytime, they know not the light. Yeah, they don't care about light. They don't care about righteous illumination. The scriptures say that the light is the commandments in Proverbs, the 6th chapter. They ain't trying to do nothing righteous. Verse 17, the morning is to them even as a shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. So everything that comes along with them, man, Micah 2 says that, they be in the bed thinking about, I don't even want to misquote it. See, Job said, man, in the morning, they get up and they get to practicing it. At night, they involve in terrors. Micah 2, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence. October 7th, that was a tragedy. Terrorists, the dirty, stinking Hamas terrorists, man. on the last day of Sukkot and Tabernacles, man, went and killed them people, raping poor women and raping, I should say, poor women and kidnapping and destroying and killing. Then the word comes out. Oh, there was a hours long stand down, and the IDF didn't do anything. For years now, you've been wanting that land anyway. What better way to clear them out? Ceasefire has been broken multiple times by the small hats. GMO small hats, multiple times they've been violated. Net not a Jew got a warrant out for him committing war crimes. No, everybody turns a blind eye. Why? Because it's in the power of their hand to do it. And they covet fields and they take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. This is par for the course. So he's looking at it as valuable waterfront property and suggesting relocating Palestinians to the Negev desert or Rafah, where the territory was, quote, cleaned up. What else about this guy, man? Is anything else worth dealing with? Not really. If y'all want to know, son-in-law of the president, keep it in the family. Real estate developer, man. He's over there getting bread, and now he's being put in the position of redeveloping this thing under Project Sunrise. Okay, so let's blow this back up. Continuing on. Here's another one. You guys remember him? Yuval Noah Harari. Before we get to this gives a deeper understanding too. When you're talking about Revelation 11. Quoted it earlier. Let's get to it real quick. Revelation 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. So the dead bodies of the saints have been killed, destroyed, slaughtered here in America, right? Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, right? So this place has a spirit that is flowing in sodomy and bondage and captivity and oppression, i.e. Egypt, where also our Lord Yahweh Shah was crucified, right? So the main thing I want to show y'all is spiritually called Sodom, because we see on the surface level, the LGBTQ plus HIV agenda, the innuendos in the cartoons and the movies and everything else, right? But at the helm of the technological revolution, it's being ran by sodomites. AI, you got, okay, let me get this guy, man. I'm talking, but I'm gonna let him put it out. Mind you, this guy, Yuval Noah Harari, the name alone should let you know, he's a small hat too. He's a GMO AstroTurf fraud. But watch how evil this cat is, man. This guy even said,
Con Fred Lloyd.
let me see. He's pro AI.
You believe computers might soon have a hand in where you live, who you marry, where you work, without you
Let me back him up real quick. I'm giving you the background on this guy first. He's a futurist. He's a historian. He's one of the mouthpieces for AI and the technocrats and whatnot. And
You believe computers might soon have a hand in where you live, who you marry, where you work, without you consciously knowing it?
Increasingly, yes. I mean, sometimes it's voluntary. You would give them the authority to make decisions for you because it's just easier and better.
You want to meet somebody on Tinder, you give information.
Fair use, mind you, fair use. This is being used for scholarship, commentary, reaction. Okay, fair use.
Because
Yeah.
you want to be matched appropriately.
And this completely changes your understanding of what dating means or what relationships means. I mean, part of the problem with many of these dating apps that they see you not as a producer of relationships, but as a consumer of people, of dates.
Didn't you meet your husband on a dating app?
Yeah, I met on a very old-fashioned dating app.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you give up a lot of data to meet him?
Not really. It was still kind of very. I think it was the first dating app for gay people in Israel.
Oh, first dating app for sodomites in Israel. He met his husband online. He entrusted AI and technology to match him up with his husband. And mind you, the reporter, he's a sodomite too. I forgot his name. So they both sitting down bumping their gums together, man, sharing stories about how much fun and how much they, are sharing stories about relationships, man.
It was like almost 20 years ago. And yes, it was a big success.
Disgusting, man. Disgusting. Now, I'm giving you his background, right? Because at the end all be all, hold on, why is this thing not backing down? All right. Lucky, y'all. This damn thing's tripping. Okay, hold on.
You might soon have a hand in where you live, who you marry, where you work, without.
Now, this is him at the World Economic Forum Davos meeting just recently. Okay. He's going to give his understanding regarding AI. Now it says AI is going to take over anything made with words. Same guy we just got this looking at. Dewada, Anderson Cooper. There you go. Dewada co-op. Anderson Cooper. Well-known sodomite too. See, they're controlling media, technology. Not even him, right? Even let me see. Not even just him. Another guy. Peter Thiel. Look at this. Matt Bezezian, the man married to tech billionaire Peter Thiel. Look, these guys, tech billionaires. Novel Harari, another sodomite. They're running the tech. They're running the signs and the wonders. They're running the illusions. They're running the technical arm of the beast. These are the wizards and witches, the warlocks. Now you said, well, who's Peter Thiel? What does he run? Mind you, this is the same guy, and I played a video of with him. Remember when he got asked if he think people should be put to death over AI and all that, and he couldn't answer? German and American entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and political activist, co-founder of PayPal, Palantir Technologies. Isn't Palantir one of the ones that got some of that $500 billion from Trump? Palantir, the same one who's taking information, monitoring, creating the Big Brother technology? Yeah, this guy. And mind you, he's a sodomite. No different than Yuval Noah Harari. But let me get to this.
Do you know? As far as putting words in order is concerned, AI already thinks better than many of us. Therefore, anything made of words.
Look how they put the hands up here, moving around and all this other stuff.
will be taken over by AI. If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system.
Did you hear that? If laws are made of words, AI is going to take over the legal system. There's a movie. I don't know if it came out yet or not. Damn, I forgot the name of it. It's supposed to be coming out, but AI is judge, jury, and executioner. And I think that the plot is a dude is working for law enforcement or something like that. He gets framed for his wife's murder, and he's got to prove that it wasn't real because AI had already decided that he was guilty. What's the name of that movie? It might come to me later. If y'all know, one of y'all heard about it, throw it in the chat. Yeah, it's similar to Minority Report. I can't remember the name of it. But mind you, pay attention to what this guy is saying, man.
If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system. If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books. If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion. This is particularly true of religions based on books, like Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. Judaism calls itself the religion of the book, and it grants ultimate authority not to humans, but to words in books. Humans have authority in Judaism not because of our experiences, but only because we learn words in books. Now, no human can read and remember all the words in all the Jewish books, but AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is an AI? Do you know?
Did you hear that? AI has become the greatest discerner and understanding of the book, right? That's why it's interesting too, because I talk about AI. I've never used AI to help understand any scripture, none of that other stuff. I've seen some brothers in Israel, man, asking AI to help them with this. Like, they already fallen into the trap. Notice it says anything made of words. Now, this is why that's dangerous, because what does the scripture say? Just getting straight to the point. Let me get. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm way out of pocket. The book of John, chapter 1, and y'all know. Now it says, but as many, verse 12, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of flesh, nor of the will of man, but of the Most High. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. So we know that Christ is the Word. This guy is imparting that no, AI is the Word. AI, it says anything with words, AI will control. Anything that was created by word. You follow? Anything created by word. Let me see. See this? Anything made of words, AI is going to take over. He, in part, is saying AI is going to remove Christ out of the picture. The new quote unquote word is AI. That's why I said people are going to, if religions are made up out of words, AI will master that, and people will rely on AI for answers from the word. Mercy. That's the name of it. See this? New movie Mercy, released January 23rd, features an AI judge presiding over a trial in the futuristic Los Angeles where a detective must prove his innocence within 90 minutes to avoid execution. That's it right there. See, they're already prepping everybody to be prepared for this type of singularity and dominance, right? Mercy. Now your mercy is going to come from AI, not from the Most High. Your answers and understanding of doctrine is going to come through AI. That's what they're proposing. That's what he wants to put out there. Mind you, he's a GMO small hat sodomite, and he's throwing all that out the window to say no. The new word.
Do you know?
Look at this. You play that one more time.
But AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is an AI?
There you have it. So you can see here, when the scriptures say, man, spiritual Sodom, man, I mean, these are the sodomites that's controlling. It ain't just LGBTQ and all them running around here with parades with their butt cheeks out and, making stands for their rights. No. The spirit of Sodom. That's why the Most High had to destroy in Genesis 19. That place had to get hit with brimstone fire. That had to go and be ultimately wiped out. And America will receive the same punishments according to Isaiah 13 and others because of this spirit that's behind them and what they're imposing.
Do you know?
Okay. Keep that in mind. Watch this, though. Remember, we always talking about, now, even him, he said, man, AI is going to take over every job. There ain't going to be nothing left. But that's okay because, look, white man says, don't worry. You're going to have a universal basic income. You're going to live in coffin apartments, 15-minute cities. We're going to track and trace everything that you do. We're going to mark your carbon footprint. And guess what? You're going to eat off of a $3 meal a day. Here is Agent Orange's agricultural secretary, and she's going to say, what's everybody complaining for? You can have a healthy meal for $3. When they tell you that, this is exactly what they want on your plates. All right, let me let her go.
The cost of groceries are actually coming down. There was a little blip.
But where? See, there they go. Soon as they be born speaking lies, soon as they open their mouth, man, cost of groceries going down. Is anybody believing? Can y'all attest to that? I mean, maybe I'm shopping at the wrong places. Maybe I'm missing something. The only thing I can see that's going down, I will say, gas has gone down. I mean, but not for California. Our gas going down is at $4. That's down for us. And that's probably Supreme is at like $4.15 or $4.10 or something like that. Regular unleaded is probably below $3, high $3. But she says, hey, groceries are down. All right.
Actually coming down. There was a little blip at the end of the year because it's the holiday and a lot of people are spending a lot more money at the grocery store. But the actual overall numbers are coming down, from eggs to chicken to pork to milk to broccoli. But I think the question you're asking, and it's a really important one, is while we're asking Americans to reconsider what they're eating, are we actually asking Americans, especially those who are living on the margins, are we asking them to spend more on their diet? And the answer to that is no. We've run over 1,000 simulations. It can cost around $3 a meal for a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, corn tortilla, and one other thing. And so there is a way.
Did you hear that? They ran multiple simulations to see how they can ration out food to the people. A piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, a corn tortilla, and something else. Who knows what that something else is? That's when they come with some wafer or some pill that they says that this will take care of all the rest of your supplements. Eat this, drink this. You won't even be thirsty if you eat this. $3. A piece of, lab grown chicken, GMO piece of broccoli, GMO corn made tortilla, and something else. What's something else? We don't know. But this is the ultimate plan, man. That's why she said they've run multiple simulations. They got to figure it out. So when the full oppression comes into play, we got to lock down. Forget about whatever you want to. You eat whatever you want, how much you want. No. Not when they impose their will on it. Okay? So keep that in mind.
Is while we're
shout out and prayers to everybody, man, that's been dealing with this cold out there, man. 230 million people getting affected by the cold. They're talking about a strain on the grid. Always going back to being prepared as best you can, because you never know when things might hit like this. So, Lord willing, everybody that's been affected by this weather is good. Gonna make it through, staying warm. And look, storm poses big threats to power grids across the U.S. They always say that because they want everybody to kind of already start reducing the power. Don't get to running the heat. Don't get to running the, any of your electronics too long because, the grid might collapse. But if that happens, people will really be cold when you can't turn on that heat and all of that. So prayerfully, everybody's, okay with that. Again, we're keeping prayers up for everybody that's in need. One other thing before we close out, I don't know if everybody got a chance to notice, but the calendar for 2026, 2027 is out. It is on the post. It is on the post. Let me share with y'all. If you don't know how to get it, let me see here. If you're not sure how to access it, go to our channel, right? Go on the posts because we put it up there and posted it. But I know that YouTube don't send out notifications when it comes down to posts and stuff like that. So some of y'all may have missed it. You see it here. You click on post, you're gonna see the post that was made. I would say the easiest way. I know I put a link here for y'all to click on, but from my understanding, it's a link that also asks you for permissions to share. And then I'm getting email, constantly getting emails, people asking to share. And sometimes I don't know who the emails is, who's doing what. So that's still accessible if you hit the link, right? And it will open it up. You can get it that way if you want to download it onto your phone, do it that way. Or like my brother said, he screenshotted it. So you can click on it, open it up, and you can screenshot it and you have all your dates. So Most High willing, this helps everybody for their work scheduling, for you knowing when to keep the holy days of the Most High. And y'all can start scheduling out times that you're gonna need. So Most High willing, everybody's able to access that. So that's the best way to get it via the YouTube channel. So it's already there. All right. So all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High for that. I'm gonna go and get up out of here, man. We got closing Shabbat class coming up about 3:15, man. Come on in. We got another closing Shabbat class after this, back to back, putting in that work for the Lord. All praises, man. So hopefully everybody got some edification out this today, and you can take some things home with you, man. Because they want you to eat $3 meals. We see what happened over there with Project Sunrise. This was already pre-planned. Agent Orange is still loving to eat tacos. And we don't know what's going to happen with the Middle East. He's got an armada of ships and lining up things over there in Iran. But time will tell, man. So until then, always remember, man, fear the Most High, keep the commandments. Don't shoot the messenger. Till the next time.